Okay, it's not just here guarding. It's here. I know necessarily you shouldn't start out with a bong sao with a structure, but if you know your kung fu, you will know that this has them walking into a trap. If you know your kung fu, if you're willing to bend bamboo, right? Just because I have this doesn't mean I'm waiting for this person to just punch to that structure. That is a stupid idiot, right? It could be the point that we're not touching, right? Now he comes in with a punch. Did I catch him with a bong sao? No. Did I catch him with that lock to bong though? Yes. The lock, actually I went into a cut, not into a punch. Whole point is, if I know my kung fu, I can be able to do anything. Now that I said that, okay? Well, the whole point is, have a structure worth fighting. And if you don't know what you're doing, go to what you should know. Boxing type hands or double jet sao. You have a point where you have the jong sao, okay? This in Jeet Kune Do's Bai Jong, you know, with us it's jong sao, the jong sao fighting hands, okay? I use Bai Jong because people know Bai Jong more, you know. You can have the point of, I don't care if you do the old school European, you know, bare knuckle boxing idea. The whole point is have your freaking hands up and know the skills that you're fighting from. Period. That's it. I don't care what that is. Now, let's get to the big topic. Jabs. First of all, a jab is uncommitted. There's two types of jabs, committed, uncommitted. So, an uncommitted jab, and I'm going to use my left hand in this case, so I want y'all to see this. Okay? I'm going to do an uncommitted jab. His goal is to pak sao. So, I put it out there, he pak saos, right? I'm going to do an uncommitted, no, I'm going to do a committed jab first, because I really want you to see it. So, committed jab means I'm actually trying to hit him. I'm actually going to try to hit him. I'm actually trying to give him the heavy hands. So, as long as he leaves his hand up there, that's fine. That's cool. Now, if he's doing more Wing Chun structure or straightened hands, and he protrudes the pak sao, same idea. So I got committed hands. You see what's happening. I'm throwing a hand that's heavy. He's catching it. There you go. When you do an uncommitted jab, it's like a relationship. If you're not committed to the woman, you're going to do what? Go out and date other women. Okay, I put it out there because that's what you guys know. So I had to tweak it. But that's the same thing as your techniques. You're not doing that. You're doing an uncommitted jab. Why? Because if there's a chance you can do anything else, you will. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of, you know, you just throwing them hands out because you can set up with something else. You know, you can set up with something else. You're going to go someplace else with it. So now what he's going to do is he's going to do a pak style to an uncommitted jab. Now, if he holds his hand like this, you know, he's always going to be able to touch it. So we want to do it in the way of most Wing Chun guys because that's going to make some more sense, okay? And all he's doing is trying to protrude out there that pak to an uncommitted jab. You ready? See, he actually has to pak. Okay, I'm giving you a couple more chances, okay? What you know about an uncommitted jab?
It can do something else.
Well, what happened in this case?
Oh, I'm not keeping contact.
Can't keep.
So
not
it's gone before I can do anything to it.
It's gone. It's in there and out. It's in and out. That's because that's how it's trained to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? My left hand is my worst hand. So if any of y'all say, oh, he's not doing a jab correctly, yeah, you're right. because I'm a southpaw. Okay, I'm not a left-handed guy. Now, Wing Chun wise, maybe more, but boxing, no. I'm a right-handed fighter, but you can't keep a jab. Just can't. You can't. Don't even catch one. That's another principle. That's not a Chun Fa idea from my uncles. That's from me. That's my law. Don't catch a jab. I don't care what you do. You know, committed, I get it. Uncommitted, no. So we have our hands. Okay. An uncommitted jab is when the person jabs to test you. Back in the day, a kung fu person knew how to deal with you based off the basics. If you couldn't fight past a certain person's basics, they knew they could end your skill very quickly. They may do something just to stop you from fighting, say, you should go home now because you have nothing, right? Versus if you do basics to a person and just kill you because they're annoyed, like Priest Pak-mei. Priest Pak-mei would just kill you, say, we don't need your life around here no more. Pop, and just walk on. Boy, I love Priest Pak-mei. Anyway, so in that, then now understand uncommitted jabs. Uncommitted jabs is just a tester. If they hit you with it, okay, great. They're going to keep popping you with it because they're going to set up for what they call the trip hammer. The trip hammer is usually their strongest hand in the back, ready to bust your lights out cold. So right here is the uncommitted jab. You can't catch an uncommitted jab. Don't try to pock an uncommitted jab. Don't try to futsal an uncommitted jab. An uncommitted jab does absolutely nothing to your nature. Just do not react to it. Heard what I said. So if my hands are up, out, and strong, and he's boxing, I'm holding. Why am I holding? Because something's going to happen where he feels like he's going to be able to do something bigger. And once he does that bigger, I'm there. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not saying at some point I can't be able to do my jabs or whatever. But Wing Chun doesn't even like to jab. If it has to, it will. But it does not like to jab at all. When it hits, it commits 9 times out of 10. Okay? But if you have to feel yourself around a boxer to know whether you can get in or not, then I totally get it. In this case, the reason why I would teach uncommitted jabs versus committed jabs, because switch legs for a minute, switch sides, because I want them to see this. This is important. I'm taking it from Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do would teach this. If their hands is just up, it's not going to do anything, just up. I can pop and punch. I can get in from that point. If it's from here to mid-move punching, pop and punch. So punch. Mid-move, pop and punch. If this dude punches and it goes to the extent, punch. So I may end up doing this, and the Jeet Kune Do will not do this. They'll even do this. And that punch is coming out, pop, punch. If the punch is out, but on the way it goes back, pop punch. Do they not? That is JKD to the core. Danny DeSanto, any of them. They'll tell you this truth. This is the beginning steps. They get you geared for this. Why do they do that? They want you, in so many ways, Jeet Kune Do, even Jun Fan Jeet Kune Do. And I split them two for a reason, because there used to be a war between the original JKDers who have Jun Fan linked onto it because they had more classical Kung Fu inside of their Jeet Kune Do
Versus if you saw Dan and Sanshou Jeet concepts, they fitted towards the way like a jacket they put on. They have to fit it towards the way that you're designed. And this is when Bruce Lee has to take out what's useless, keep what's useful, no way as way. That Jeet Kune Do concepts will say, okay, this is a concept for this. Even the punch will be a concept for Buji. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of different things that come with this. If that makes sense, I keep saying that makes sense. But there's a lot of things that comes with that. Original JKDers with the Junfeng Gung Fu hook versus JKD concepts. That was the war. This is more the concept, and the concepts that just want to make sure they have all grounds covered because they believe Wing Chun did not at the time.
First off, start with how you're going to guard yourself. I happen to have my hands, even with Wing Chun, even with my Sanshou, even with MMA or whatever martial art I've ever done. I don't like to have my hands here because it can come back on me. I'm hurting my own self, okay? I like to have my hands out because I can watch my opponent. This is double jut, so my hands are out. If something happens to my arm, it ain't gonna go back. Push my arm. My whole body's gonna go back with it. It's a unification of all self together. I can see my opponent through my hands or whatever. So I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. I don't have to wonder what's up. So I hate to say this, and I'm going to do this. When someone talks about on a Wing Chun video to have your tonsai way up here, you can't even see the other person. What if they do something that's sneaky around that point? Well, that's why you have techniques that's only going right up to the chin level or whatnot and out. You can see your opponent. That's the point. There goes my tonsai. It's not facing upward. You're open. It's not faced like this. You're open. It's faced like this. Find a Hung Gar master. They will tell you, lady looks in the mirror. And it's Tan Q. Q means bridge.
Now that I said that concept of whether it's out, whether it's in mid-move, whether it's just right here, they'll teach you pocket punch from that point because that was the idea. Why? Because in the end, when you do that pop and you'll punch, you're going to have a true punch. You're not going to have an uncommitted jab or whatever. This hand is going to hit hard, hit true from the first point. So you didn't have to worry about setting up uncommitted jabs, then just a boom or a boom. You didn't have to worry about that. Now that I said that, uncommitted jab, faster, faster, faster. There you go. That. You ain't going to catch that. You ain't doing none of that Jeet Kune Do concepts, Wing Chun, or nothing with that. Just not. What you can ultimately do is that while this is going on, you can time it and jam them up. There's a point where you can get them in, but you won't get them in because it's jabbing, you're trying to chase the hand. You're going to pop more at the shoulder. You try and jam them at the shoulder where all this stuff is happening because check this out. If I'm more at the shoulder here and he's trying to do uncommitted jabs, go. You see the difference? So I'm not going to pop this crap. I'm not doing that with uncommitted jabs. If you're going to actually try to cover with Wing Chun, it's hard to do it. You may going to get hit. That's the only way you're going to do it if you're going to do it. That's a war I'm not going to take. Sorry. Kamikaze air pilots. You're going to fly with these. You're not flying with Japan. The body's Japan. Don't sacrifice your Japan for uncommitted jabs. Forget that. So I'm waiting for that committed jab. Show me a committed jab. How's the hand? Again. Make sure you bring it back, but still committed. Committed. You hear that? That's a decisive hit. That says, I want that block off of your neck, which is your head. The old phrase, I'm gonna knock your block off. That's when you want somebody. It's with a committed jab, with commitment. Just like you would with Facebook and relationships. You're in a relationship with this person. You have put yourself in a commitment. You married the person. That's a commitment. That's when you know it's important. So it's just the same as in fighting. You want something committed. Only go for the committed. So I'll be here and I'll wait till all that uncommitted stuff goes. That uncommitted jabs are hidden. I'm waiting. And then when that committed jab happens, you okay? Woo! Oh man, that was unexpected. You all right?
Let's go.
Now that is the difference. Does that make sense? He gonna owe me one. He gonna be like, man, wait until I hit seafood one good time.
Speaking of feeding, right? So he has these jabs. I'm just gonna cover. That's my whole point. So he's jabbing. I'm not gonna catch that. I don't care how slow or fast it is, because I'm gonna wait for that moment where he does a straight cross or a hook. I'll catch a technique then, because that shows initiative of commitment, right? And in that case, I'm saved. I can do whatever technique I want to do. If my hands are here and he ends up doing, the backhand ends up coming out to do a technique, then I have the technique. I can grab it, I can cover it, do whatever. I better have my hands up because this hand is coming. Do whatever. Whatever the case may be. In that case, that makes sense. But for a jab, I'm not going to catch a jab. And we're playing with the jab, true. But in actual boxing, if I met a boxer, I would respect the boxer. There's actually a video I done way back talking about respecting boxing or understanding boxing. I'm talking about the doors. And there's a point where you have to realize that if I try to catch a jab and I put that hand out there, even if it's uncommitted or committed, I'm going to get caught if I'm not careful. Even if I have my hand up, I could get caught or whatever. I have to respect the doors. These are the doors, right? Actually, I got that from Jin Young. Jin Young is talking about in his videos how this is a door. This is a door, right? What you do with them doors. When it opens, what do you do? When they close, what do you do? It talks about the opportunity of hitting people, not that you can hit somebody. There's a fair difference. I love that. When Wing Chun people talk about there's an opportunity to do something, it's not a guarantee. I don't guarantee squat in this school, right? I don't even guarantee your life survival. I guarantee that if you work it, you will survive. There's a chance for survival, big time. But no guarantee. You don't know what's going to go on in a fight. Number one thing I just want you to remember is, one, have your hands up at all times. I don't care how you have your hands up. Two, don't catch no jabs. Just don't. I don't care if they're stepping back as they're jabbing, right? Don't catch that jab. Just don't. Just don't. If it's a martial art kind of thing and it's not the martial art of boxing, but other martial art stuff, if they do a jab, kick them. Make them work for it. Feed them something. Because that kick is a jab. for the feet, right? As they're jabbing, you can be jabbing back, right? Whatever the case may be. But don't try to catch their jab. It's just dumb. You're gonna get caught. I showed you before. That's it. You're gonna get caught. Okay? Just be smart about it. Anyway, that's the same thing about knives though. It's actually jab with knives. Don't catch no jab. Stay the hell away from it. Wait until they actually tries to do something real, like a thrust, an actual commitment. Now let's play the game of put them down, go home, eat your TV dinners.
All this to say, let's go back to the main issue of the hand idea. We want to understand committed jabs versus uncommitted, committed versus uncommitted. We want to know that a boxer, whatever they do, there's even uncommitted hook punches. So they may do this, and they'll be like, they'll try to just get their hand out of the way. They'll do whatever possible. They'll go, and they'll do this, and they'll do this because guess what? Maybe if they come back, they can turn and pow. They do these uncommitted jabs to understand to get past your guards. So I'm telling you this as someone smart. Don't bow down to an uncommitted jab. No matter what. I don't give a damn. Don't bow down to an uncommitted jab. You wait for that commitment. If they pass with an uncommitted jab, for example, and you feel them doing this, that's a time to react. Because now they have committed to try to get your arms out of the way because they know they're not going to be able to do it. You've seen boxers do it all the time. We're not doing anything well, but let me just show them real quick. You have seen boxers, sometimes they'll have their arm guard here and they'll turn because they know now they got an opening and they'll come over. You know what I'm talking about. They may have an arm and they'll punch this way and they might be uncommitted or whatever, or they'll just happen to turn, but they'll switch their hands here because that acts as the uncommitted jab, and all of a sudden they'll come back here. They'll play with your guards with these uncommitteds once they know they can't get past it. What do you do after that? As soon as you feel that movement, you better do something about it. See, it's really hard to deal with. Right. You getting to learn it. So if he was to take my guard and turn it, right? I may have this hand up here just in case because he may punch. So I got to remember that he's only doing that. He's only turning my arm so he can get that punch. Now I have him. Right? I have him. Now, if he turns and I just want to get back quick, then I want to hurry up and turn back. I want to hurry up and get myself back to center. We'll have a video on that. Getting back to center, that's important. Get back to your center. Get back to your face front if you have to. Get back to where you can use both hands at the same time. If you can't, you're at a loss. Get back to it. Anyway, that's it for that one. That's relatively shorter than the other one, but there you go. Oh, crap.